Good morning, friends. Let's go do a handstand workout to bring you along, and then more updates to come up after that. I just woke up, so if I sound a little crazy, that's why. Go! So today is Thursday for me. We're doing handstands. It's not a stalled or pressing session, which is more focused on like pressing skills that I need to get to the stalled or press, but instead it's just handstand skills. We're working on balance, we're working on hip positioning, we're working on shoulder flexion. Those are the main ones that we're gonna be focusing in on today. I like to pick like 2 or 3 things that I actually really focus on during my handstand session each workout, because I feel like even though there are like a million little things that I could tweak and work on in my handstands, it's not productive, and it just gets super distracting if I try to focus on all of them at once. And I'm not able to really end up improving anything and really honing in on any of the skills. So what I do instead is now I pick like a 2, maybe 3 emphasis on the things I really want to focus on when I'm in my handstand, but also throughout the whole session, like my intention for the workout, which is, in this case, we're working on shoulder flexion and hip positioning and all of that good stuff. Your girl wants to get a back bend handstand one day. Making my way downtown. We made it to the park. So the first thing that I always do in my handstand training session is a solid warm-up. And for me, it's a bare minimum of about 5 minutes, but it tends to be around 10 to 15 minutes and sometimes longer if I feel like I really need to warm up. That's because I focus very intently on preparing my upper body joints, specifically the wrists and shoulders, some of the most important joints for our handstands. So after doing some cardio, like a jog or jumping jacks in this case, to increase my core body temperature, I do a little bit of shoulder rotation work before moving into prep my wrists with a solid wrist warm-up. And here I'm prepping my wrists with a bunch of different flexion and extension exercises, so warming up the muscles around my wrists. So wrists are warmed up, and now we're gonna do shoulders. So I hop onto my stomach to do a few of my go-to shoulder warm-ups. Like I mentioned before, one thing I'm really focusing on in this workout is my shoulder flexion. And using these warm-ups are so helpful for me to prepare my shoulders, so I really feel the contraction of my shoulder position when I do go into my handstand. Now's the fun part because we get to start getting into our actual floor handstand work. So now that the shoulders and the wrists are super warmed up and like my full body is warmed up now I'm gonna get into some of my first handstands, which are never gonna have beautiful form. They're never gonna have good form because it takes a hot second for my body to be like, oh, we're upside down. We're on our hands now. Okay. And just to like acclimate to being upside down and using the correct balance. So first handstands, never gonna be the best. So don't even fret if yours also kind of suck at the beginning. They get better throughout the session, which is why I have entire sessions dedicated to handstands instead of just like throwing some handstands at the end of my workout, because that's not a great way to really progress if you're trying to achieve super advanced handstand skills. So let's go. In this session, I moved on down to the floor and I started with some mounting drills where I just practice entering into a tuck or a straddle handstand from the floor. And I like these drills because it forces me to control my momentum as I enter the handstand, and also improves my brain's understanding of where my body is when I'm upside down and the specific position of my hips and shoulders in my handstand. And I don't go into a handstand after I enter or mount into the handstand, tuck, or straddle. I just come right down because the point of this exercise isn't to practice going into that straight handstand hold, but rather to practice just entering into the handstand and getting that good body positioning as a prep for when I go into the main handstand work of the session. On a side note, if you're a beginner and you're warming up in your handstand, the first handstands that I would do if I were you are not floor handstands. You want to either do like wall walks, box walks, any of these box drills, because that will still allow you to get acclimated upside down, but it'll allow you to get your body prepped and ready to do the floor handstand with the correct positioning. Because otherwise, if you start on the floor, you can just start by prepping your whole body with like bent arms or a piked butt or like a bent back, which is banana back, and we don't want any of these things. So if we can like prep with good form, that's the best. Here's some drills that I would do if I were a beginner. And I totally still do all the time. Like to this day, I use these drills like on a weekly basis. So it's not like I don't do them anymore, guys. They're here. So this drill here is a box handstand walk. It's an easier version of wall walks, and what we want to focus on here is stacking the hips over the shoulders, over the hands, to work on building strength with good alignment. And I like to use my phone to take a video to check my form and make sure I'm really stacking my joints correctly. And then I move on to lifting one leg up and down while really controlling that alignment, hollow body hold, and lifting one leg, still staying stacked. And these drills are great because they build up your shoulder strength with good form. And if you think about working out in the gym or in calisthenics, like if you're training for the pull-up, you're not gonna just try to do the pull-up if you can barely even get one. What you're gonna do to train for the pull-up is using an easier version, maybe with a resistance band or a lighter weight that allows you to build up the muscle that you need to do the pull-up. And it's similar for the handstand. You wanna use an easier progression to strengthen your shoulders before trying to kick up onto the floor too much if you can't even hold the handstand yet. And I also find these drills very helpful for warming up and getting used to body positioning, that alignment that we've been talking about. This drill here is a wall walk. It's also a great drill for building up that shoulder strength. Okay, so those are the main handstand drills that I would definitely use as a warm-up before I get into my floor handstands. And so now let's do some floor handstands. I can't talk in the morning, guys. We just roll with it. We just keep going. So now I've done a solid warm up, I like to go into my floor handstands. And this session, I did a lot of endurance handstand holds with a focus on my hand positioning, my hip positioning, and my shoulder flexion. Always the shoulder flexion. All right, so silly little tip that might help you if you are a glute dominant girly, or if you're like leg dominant like me. So when you have more muscle on your legs, it's gonna require more strength and more control for you to be able to hold your body in a straight line, because with the top being heavy, aka our legs when we're up in a handstand, it's gonna be a little bit easier for gravity to be like whoop by any small change. So naturally, people with more glutes, more quads, more muscle on their legs, it's gonna be a little bit harder, and you're just gonna need a little more control to hold proper form for the handstand. And one thing that we like to think about when we're in our handstand is maintaining our body in a nice straight line. And by straight, I mean engaged, like the whole body, like you don't bend at your hips, you don't arch your back, your shoulders don't move a ton, you're not having a lot of leg movements, hip movements, none of that. So one thing that I like to focus on a lot and have been working on recently that might help you if you also are a little bit glute dominant is focusing on keeping my lower back and my glutes engaged, just thinking of them as one unit the whole time, because I have a super flexible lower back. So it's super easy if I start to fall for my lower back to just arch so that I can overcompensate and not have to use the strength by actually keeping shoulder alignment and wrist alignment. So we arch our lower back because it's a little bit easier for us to keep our legs in line with the center of balance. So we don't want that. We don't want that, because that's gonna make it so much harder for us to actually control our handstand, and also it limits our ability to develop shoulder strength. So one thing that helps me is doing hollow holds, also doing reverse hollow holds. I don't have good equipment here. Basically, you just do the hollow hold, but you flip upside down and you hold yourself in kind of like a hollow hold position. When I do the hollow hold, I'm pressing my lower back into the floor. So I'm not arching it, but I'm kind of putting it into a posterior tilt. So here, there's no space. This is an arch. I'm really pressing my lower back into the floor here, which creates the hollow body shape. And then flipped hollow holds, I don't have the stuff to show you guys. I wish I did. So the rest of the handstand session was a combination of endurance handstand holds and shape transitions. So for example, straight to straddle to straight handstand, or a tuck to a straight to a straddle to a tuck handstand, or one of the other combinations I like to play around with as I practice, keeping my hips in the correct position so I transition between shapes. So it's almost fall here in New York, and it's like the leaves are turning, starting to become fall-like, and it's so exciting for me because I haven't had fall in like 6 years since I've been in Florida, so kind of exciting. And then I finished my session with some play. So for me, that was trying out backbend handstands, which I'm so far from getting, as you can see, but the whole point of the play is to try out new things and move my body in fun ways and just have a good time. Half the fun is just playing around with things that are fun.
And it's so important for me that I do have a little bit of play in my workouts each week because it takes away from some of the pressure that my handstand has to be perfect or I have to hit a PR when I'm lifting weights or doing pull-ups or other calisthenic skills. It just makes movement more of a fun activity where I feel in tune with my body and enjoy movement and enjoy my workout. And that's very important to me. So always ending with a little bit of play at the end of the workout.
All right, and that is the workout completed. Handstand session done for the day. Normally, I almost always eat food before my workouts. For a long time, I didn't eat food before my workouts, but since having started just like a few months ago, like really prioritizing eating breakfast or at least having a snack like some fruit or something before my workout, I feel so much better. It's those carbs that fuel me during my workout. My strength has increased so much. I'm able to really focus and actually perform during my workouts. Like I used to, when I worked out fasted, sometimes I would like halfway through my workout just start thinking like, can't wait for breakfast. Or like, oh man, I'm kind of hungry right now. Or like, I have an empty stomach and I have to finish this set. And so now I'm so used to working out fueled that my workouts have improved so much. I feel so much stronger. But that being said, guys, I did not have any food this morning because I kind of just woke up and low-key forgot because I was focused on, oh yeah, I gotta film stuff. And also, we have no food in my house right now, so we're gonna go get groceries. You girls had no coffee, no carbs. We're gonna go get some good protein and carbs, okay? Let's go get some good food. Yeah, that's the sitch. I get in trouble with literally all of my friends, literally everyone who I ever listen to music with, because I like to change the song as soon as I'm not feeling the bop anymore, which is approximately every 30 seconds. So I use that skip button. I need that Spotify premium because otherwise I can't listen to the whole song. When I tell you I have the best sister, I do. I actually have two of them and they're both amazing. And one of them got me coffee today. Just as a surprise because she's so sweet and amazing. Love you, Courtney. Post handstand coffee vibes. Emotional support liquid 1. Emotional support liquid 2. All right, time to get ready for the day. I've got some updates for you. I'm moving. Drop the ball right there. I'm moving countries, and so that's exciting. Moving in 2 weeks, which means I have lots to do before then. Lots to do. All right, so the full tea. It's been a while since Jensen's been in a video, but if you remember Jensen, an OG, Jensen's my boyfriend, also my fiance now. And he lives in England because he's British. He cannot live in the US. He basically can't get a visa that will let him live here. And we've been long distance for like almost 5 years now, which is crazy. While I would not recommend long distance to anyone because it's been challenging to say the least, I do feel like if two people are right for each other, they can make it work in any situation. So we've made it work the past 5 years, but now it's time for us to live together because I'm pretty done with not being able to be with my person. So super excited. I'll take you guys along with me and show you where we end up in the end. I think it'll be a little more fun if I show you the journey as we go, but packing, guys, I only get one checked bag, one carry-on, one personal item. So a girl's got things and I'm being forced to be a little bit minimalist now. I feel like I already don't accumulate too many things because I move around so much. I guess I lived in Tampa and then I lived in Miami and now I'm in New York and now I'm going to Europe. I feel like every single time I move, it's really hard to bring so much stuff with me. So I just like force myself to downsize every move, which helps me keep in check things I don't really need. Also, my little sister is studying abroad in Ireland. Love this for her. So she's also flying to Europe with me in about 2 weeks and we're gonna do a little bit of a cross Europe travel situation, which I am so excited about. The planning has been going on for like at least a week. I was thinking it could be fun if I kind of like bring you guys with me. Could be fun. Maybe like try different calisthenics workouts throughout Europe. But the thing is, with traveling and moving, my training split has changed a lot. I'm not training as strictly for the shoulder press as I had been. That's kind of like been a lower priority shift, as those training sessions are a little more intense. In general, my current training split is still like hybrid calisthenics, some weights for legs, some calisthenics for upper body and core and such, and then I have my handstand sessions because I really want to like build my handstand base so I can progress and have the right shoulder mobility. Move on to like backbend handstands and shoulder press and more advanced handstands one day. Also, how long have I had water on my shirt? Has this been there the whole time? I don't know. Guys, I need you to let me know these things. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so Stalder's training has been on the back burner, but it is not gone. I'm definitely still going for the shoulder press. Still a massive goal of mine. Very excited about. My training split is probably gonna change a little bit while I'm in Europe because I really never ever want to be in the mindset where exercise is like a chore and it's required. And if I take a week off of strict workouts so that I can travel Europe with my sister, my fiance, then I'm gonna have any guilt or shame about that. Like, that's not happening. Because movement for me is always going to add to my life, add to my quality of life, make me happy, give me energy boost, make me feel good. I've been to the over exercise point too many times. We're just not doing it. Okay, so in Europe, I'm gonna be very flexible with my workouts. You know, handstand session here if I can, a little full body calisthenics workout there if I can. It's not gonna be like I need to stay to this split or anything like that, because that's not the point of this short time period. That short time period is to like try all the Italian food, hike all of the Switzerland mountains, and have an amazing time just hanging out with two of the people that I love the most in the world. So I might bring you guys along for part of that. That could be kind of fun, but that's kind of my thoughts on training and how I'm gonna train and the travel aspect of all of that. Okay, what are we feeling for hair? Are we feeling leave her right now? Or are we feeling straighten in her? Thoughts? I feel like we could leave her for now. I'm gonna leave her for now. Might come back and straighten her later. Also, this is our fit for the day. We're going blue top, jean shorts, and hair. Last time I did a chatty chat video where we just hung out. My hair's brown and I was like, should I dye my hair blonde? And I was editing that in future tense with brown hair and I was like, it's already blonde. Oops. So for the packing situation, as you can see, I have my lovely bags right over here. I get my checked, I get my carry-on, and I get a personal item, which is inevitably going to be like a backpack that I have. And I have to fit all of the belongings that I want to have for the foreseeable future in those bags. So that's been a challenge for me the past few days. What's funny too is I have a weight requirement. This bag can only be 50 pounds. And naturally, I'm gonna be bringing all my adventure gear. I've got my handstand blocks, I've got my resistance bands, I've got my climbing gear, you know, your harness, your gree-gree, your climbing shoes. Naturally, I need all those things. I also have my camera equipment. So I've got my camera stuff. I don't know if this light's gonna come with. She is probably too heavy. Random cords I may need. And all of that probably weighs like 25 pounds. And then I still have my toiletries and clothing after that, so it's gonna be a fun time. Is this coming with? I don't know. We'll have to see. It doesn't feel essential. In the morning, I like to journal a little bit and kind of get my thoughts down on the page sometimes. The past few days, week in particular, I've been a little overwhelmed. And it's like, it's crazy because stress affects people in so many different ways, and for me, I won't be able to sleep. I break out so much. Like, number one sign, I'll be breaking out if I'm stressed. And also I'll just get very irritable, very overwhelmed, very in my head. The past week or so, I've been like a little bit more in my head. Like, you know, it's fine, you're changing countries, like it's gonna be good, I'm excited, but it's definitely a lot of things on my brain of like what I have to do next and like what I still have to get ready and all of that, and spend time with family while I'm still here and like all of that. I'm still working too, and so lots of things in the brain. And a few things I've been doing to try and counterbalance that. So I've been meditating more. I use Headspace. In the past, it's been better when I do it in the morning, so I kind of want to try and get back on that bandwagon, but what I've been doing is playing sleep music as I fall asleep, and then and then it helps because I'm a little bit less in my head and I'm a little bit more like listening to the sleep music, bedtime meditations as I'm like winding down, and also journaling. Just like when I'm too much in my head, writing down on the page, just getting my thoughts out. I literally don't even read it most of the time. Again, it's just brain dumping onto the page, so I feel like I have the clean, clear brain so that I can move on with the rest of my day. So yeah, those are some things I've been doing recently. Oh my gosh, this is so good. I haven't figured out how to make good coffee yet. That's not been a successful one, but that's okay. So I'm gonna write for a minute. Another thing that helps me a lot when I'm going to bed, if I like have too many thoughts going through my mind other than like putting on music, is I'll go in my notes app and I make my list or like my to-do list for the next day, because sometimes I can't fall asleep because I have too many thoughts about, oh, I have to do this and this and this and this. And sometimes just getting it down on my notes app helps me feel like I have the peace of mind so that I can just fall asleep. Because once I make my to-do list and my day plan, I can go to bed knowing that I like will wake up and have a plan and know what I'm gonna be doing, know the things I have to get done and not feel like I have to try and remember them when I wake up. So that's been something super helpful too. I feel like a lot of you guys watch me for my handstand videos, but I'd be so curious to know what you watch these videos for. Do you watch them for the handstands or the calisthenics? Or are you here for the chatty chats? I don't know, but I'd love to know. So let me know in the comments. I like doing these chatty chat videos, hangouts, but I want to make a lot more of what you guys are actually interested in, so let me know. So I'm currently prepping to edit a video. This video, by the way. And I'm hanging out with my sister, Caitlin. Caitlin, how do you feel about me leaving?
Sad about it. I would feel more sad if I was actually gonna let you leave, so.
Alright guys, so I realized that I actually never ended the video, but it's been a crazy busy day. This is a few days later. I've had doctor's appointments, I've worked on figuring out the phone situation, just finished my hair appointment. We've gone full blonde. Excited. And I'm gonna end the video here, but thanks for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the handstand video, and I hope you enjoyed coming along with me. I'm gonna be filming the trip and the move, and don't forget to subscribe to see more. I will see you all in the next one. Bye!